So here's a stat that kind of does not compute. Dwyane Wade's career three-point average is below 30%. It's not very good. And yet, legitimately an all-time great, a three-time champion, one of the greatest two guards in NBA history. He's been a slashing, driving, scooping, mid-range shooting superstar from the old school. Rachel Nichols sat down with the man this week for a version of his exit interview.
I feel it's right to ask you guys to join me for one last dance, for one last season. This is it.
You talked to Carmelo Anthony, and that ended up being a very consequential conversation in your whole decision to have this final year. What did he say that affected you so much?
He was like, all right, let's just get down to it. Bro, what you talking about, you're gonna retire? Like, he was really like, I heard in his voice and I seen in his eyes, like, yo, you cannot retire and not allow us to celebrate you or to celebrate the career you've had. To me, it was kind of an eye-opener. Then CP called me, and I got the same thing from CP, and it was like, okay, all right, let me think about this a little differently.
And the nightly jersey exchange, Dwyane Wade and a player who's trying to follow in Wade's footsteps.
The jersey swaps have become their own whole separate thing. And originally, I think you were only going to do it with your very good crew of friends, right? LeBron, CP.
Yeah, it
right?
was just for the Banana Boat crew.
Right. We could have had a little banana patch sewn on the jerseys you exchanged. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
What was the first time someone else came up to you and was like, hey, let's swap?
Game 1 against Orlando, Vucevic. He came up to me, and he was like, hey, let me get your jersey. And I was like, okay. So all I did is sent him one. We didn't even do the photo.
Right.
When I got in the locker room, I sent him
a
jersey over. I think we was playing, maybe say Donovan early.
Right.
It was like someone we was playing early, and I was like, this is a cool moment. Let me get this moment. Let's do it. Yeah. And then it started taking on life of its own, where people start asking me, where I get messages from someone else. I get some DMs. I get some in the game. Hey, let me get that jersey.
Right.
And then I have moments where I'm like, yo, let's change jerseys after and stuff like that. So it's just been cool.
It has been crazy. I want to get all your highlights. So earlier this season, you had a retirement tour highlights. Your basketball highlights. I've got retirement tour highlights. Earlier this season, we got the great moments with you and LeBron.
Yeah,
that was very moving.
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell hands you a rocking chair, which I thought was charming. You played your last game in Madison Square Garden. The crowd went insane for you. MVP chants at the Garden. They cheered for you in Boston, which is something I frankly thought I would never see.
Me neither.
Danny Ainge even presented you with a piece of the parquet floor. What has the actual experience been like of living through all those moments?
I mean, the other night in the Garden, I was on the interview and I looked around and then I looked behind me and I looked to the side. I'm like, everyone is still here. They're chanting like D-Wade in the Garden. I couldn't have written this book any better. This is a bestseller, and I couldn't have written it about my life.
Let's talk about the last game up in Brooklyn. You could very well be going into that game, and as the minutes tick by, not know if that's your last game or not.
I'm not gonna think about that.
Okay.
It's like Kobe has set this unbelievable, impossible bar that people feel that in your last game you gotta score 60. Like, who does that?
Kobe Bryant does that.
I was like, I'm gonna go out the way D-Wade's supposed to go out.
And now Brian Windhorst, of course, joining us on the set. All right, Dwyane Wade, best remembered in his NBA career for?
I don't know if he'll be best remembered for it, but team building. He was willing to give up a year of his prime to let the Heat build the salary cap space. He recruited LeBron and Chris Bosh in, and he took less money so they could help stock the team with role players.
I'm going to go at the 2006 championship when he had 33-year-old Shaq, 35-year-old Alonzo, and 37-year-old Gary Payton.
You're ageist.
And he completely took over. They were down 0-2 in the series. They won 4 straight. He got MVP. I'll always remember that series.
I'm rolling with Wendy, the formation of the Big Three in Miami. He had already won a championship, but then his friendship with LeBron and kinship with Chris Bosh, though they were all in the same draft, now led to them forming the Big Three in Miami that really changed what we see as the landscape of the current player and how they're moving around.
I'm glad you guys chose the way you did. You chose a little this, you chose a little that. Roll the music.
Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come.
This or that.
Here they come.
This or that. 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 This or that.
You could get with this or you could get with that. You could get with this or you could get with that. You could get with this or you could get with that. I think you get with this, 'cause this is kind of fat. You could get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you get with this, cause this is where it's at.
Oh, this is going to be good. So Dwyane Wade, this or that edition. First up, Jalen, Dwyane Wade or Isaiah Thomas?
You mean Isaiah Thomas of the Detroit Pistons?
Yes.
Bad boys Isaiah Thomas?
Yes, that
back-to-back championships?
That one.
In the era of Bird and the Celtics, Magic and Showtime, and Jordan? Come on now. Isaiah Thomas. Put some respect on Zeke's name.
That's a tough one. I'm
One of the top 50 players of all time?
I'm going to give D. Wade this one, though. D. Wade got 3 chips. He was the best. He was MVP in one of them. Third best 2 guard all time.
Chauncey's not going to like
2 of the greatest players ever from Chicago, both rising up the ranks. Wade was so much more athletic and dominant, and that's why in 3 championships. Wow. But it's close.
It is.
What?
It's the youth. It's the youth.
Well, he won 2 of those championships with the best player in the league, LeBron James.
The bad boys had some good guys.
That's fair also. Next up, Dwyane Wade or Allen Iverson?
See, this is not fair to AI. This is not fair to AI.
Why not?
Because Dwyane Wade's going to get the nod, and we're going to talk about what he accomplished. But I would think AI could have probably did a similar version of that had he had Pat Riley as his general manager for his entire career.
Okay.
T-Mac lit me up with this today, saying when I was leaning Wade, and he said, Iverson didn't have teammates. Iverson was an MVP. Iverson changed the game with the crossover. Iverson took over the league when Michael left.
Fair.
So I had to go.
Wow, an argument that actually changed the mind.
He talked me into.
I don't think I've ever heard
I
of
went
such
with
a thing.
Iverson.
You did, old school.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, like he said, he didn't have the same teammates Dwyane had. I mean, he completely changed the culture of the whole NBA. The way people dress, the braids, the tattoo it's cool now.
Oh,
Now, before everybody looked at it as being different and that wasn't the thing to do. But
Oh, no doubt. AI had to crawl for these youngins to walk. No doubt
I'm actually
about it.
glad you mentioned the braids because the next one is Wade with braids, Wade without braids.
Oh, without. Wade
that-
with braids has been balling.
Yeah.
What you mean?
But Wade with braids
love-
ain't in the Hall of Fame.
Paul loves
Wade
it with
with
braids.
braids is balling.
Back in the
I
great-
met Gabrielle before braids.
Right. Back in the great Celtics Heat battle days, no braids. No braids.
Okay. Oh, you're also.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Paul has.
Y'all put
You hated him at
fresh out
first,
braids.
and now you love him. That's been an interesting turn. All right. Better Marquette alum, Wade versus Doc Rivers plus Jimmy Butler.
Oh, that's easy. Doc was a bomb. I'm taking Wade a Euro through Jimmy Butler and Doc Rivers.
You
Come
said
on.
Doc was a bum.
I'm going D-Wade,
Fair enough.
Which one of them got Marquette to the Final Four?
Doc.
D-Wade.
D-Wade, dog.
I like Doc's teammate helped change what we see as far as the
Yeah,
outfit.
you didn't even see Doc at
fashion.
Marquette. You didn't even see Doc at Marquette. You didn't even know
D-Wade
he
did
went
average
there.
a triple-double.
You didn't even know he went
1
there.
minute. For
What
1
if Jimmy
minute.
Butler went to Milwaukee next year?
Okay, we're not. No, not. We have plenty of time. Peak Heat Big Three or Celtics Big.
That's easy.
This is
If we was all in our
easy.
prime versus them in their prime,
Oh, here we go.
they was sitting on no championships right now. If we was in our prime, you had the 33-year-old Paul, 35-year-old.
Is that your prime?
We were in your prime. What
I like it.
No, we wasn't in our prime.
I mean, if
Come
Will
on.
Chamberlain was in his prime,
He was in
Bill Russell was in
mid-30s.
his
They
prime.
was 26, 27. If we all were the same age.
I feel like that's not the argument, though.
We pushed them to 7 games.
Right.
I'm 35 years
How about
old.
this? How about this? Wade won a championship in Miami without LeBron.
That's Shaq.
LeBron won one in Cleveland without Wade, and still they won a couple together. Y'all got one.
We got injured
They
after the first
played
year.
each other. Oh, they did
KG
play each other.
missed
They
half
did.
the season. Then the next year we lost Perk in the finals. You got to be good and lucky. Come on.
Well-
if it was healthy, we'd be sitting on 3 chips.
You know who the best person to ask? Ask Ray Allen what he thinks.
I think Dwyane Wade was good and lucky though because you guys played against each other head to head. You had the edge a little bit. Regular season 22-11, but
Hold me back! Hold me back!
your teams were 9-13 against his in the post. Let's take a little sip of syrup, shall we?
If we don't keep it real.
The dirty, nasty truth.
I could probably get a layup versus the Lakers right now.
Whoa.
Oh, I had them broad shoulders. That's why I could just put the shoulder in you. DeMar reminds me a lot of myself. You see all these kids doing the step back is because I pioneered it.
Oh, my. So you created the step back?
Oh, I just made it famous.
All right. Tail of the tape. Both NBA Finals MVP. You have him in career points. He's got more playoff points. You are a more clutch shooter overall. He's got more playoff points. Paul, riddle me this. Who's the better NBA player?
That's easy. I can say that off the bat. That's me. If you give me Shaq, if you give me LeBron,
They did. Called a big three.
We got that late, but like early in my career.
I mean, what are you doing right
If you
now?
give me these guys early in my career.
Well, let me ask you this. What would have been a perfect time for you, Paul? Let's make sure we get this
When I
right.
was 24 years old,
Okay.
you give me Shaq. When I'm 24, 25, you give me LeBron and Bosh. I'll be sitting on 5 or 6 championships. Easy.
So then who has the better NBA
I played 10 years. I played 10 years with who?
You know what?
With who?
Antoine Walker. But here's the thing.
Come on, man. Antoine
You know
was an
what?
all-star.
I knew you were going to do this, so I
You
got
knew
some
it.
video for you.
Come on.
Let me see.
You know, I knew you were going to do this. That's why I wasn't going to even try to answer.
That was a
Hello.
That's
You
a
know,
screen right there.
I'm going to give you some videos so you can
I got thrown out for that.
Paul didn't do anything wrong. I saw it.
Look, I said a screen.
I'm
that's
going to
just
give
a
you some
screen.
love, P. See that?
Jalen, that was nice of you.
James and Bosh over there. You got thrown out of playoff game.
See, I had to have my
Yeah,
guys
right.
back,
Look at that.
you know?
Look at that. Get thrown out.
Ooh, you must have been fun to be around that
Come
night.
on now. Oh, man. Now, come on.
Those
Give
were
me
some
some
of the
prime Shaq.
Some of the great series of I can never remember covering.
Dwyane Wade didn't get prime Shaq. Kobe did.
Yeah, why?
Yeah. But Shaq still
Or
has
Gary
something in the tank.
Payton.
That's why they won, because he still has something in the tank.
Yeah.
You act
Dwyane
like
Wade, the #1 shot blocker amongst all guards in NBA history. So that's got to be a factor about shot blocking on.
How about their final couple of years? You had some lost tape years, like in the Clippers.
Oh, he's
like
got.
Dwyane
He don't
Wade's
wait.
still
No,
balling right
he doesn't
now.
acknowledge
I played
those
for
years.
who?
Yeah, he doesn't. It's not part of his
I was at the house.
That's just like me and Phoenix.
Came
That was
home.
lost
Paul,
tape.
Just came home.
never
I was
changed.
coaching.
Tonight, following our last game.